Hi there, I'm Ignacio Aldama. Some of you may already know me. I'm here to do my best to help you in this sales training. I'm part of the Fulfillment Global Organization of CMS. I have been working with HP more than 10 years in the fulfillment telco space, and I will do my best during this session to help you understand the benefits and the evolution of the HP software stack on the OSS. So from fulfillment side and from the assurance side. And I will be pointing at the components we can offer to the customers to help them increase their margins, reduce their OPEX, and better operate to beat their competitors. Okay, let me jump into what we call in HP our HP Service Operations Factory. That basically means that we have an ecosystem of software, HP software, that provides fulfillment, assurance, and NFV working together to help our customers. I'm going to go through this presentation and end with a set of demonstrations. And I will point after the global interactions to some of the main components we are using. So you will see that the NFV is the trending topic these days, but it needs to be integrated into an existing OSS ecosystem and become part of that, leveraging the install base. It will also bring opportunities to bring not only HP NFV solutions, but also HP NFV-ready OSS software. Because NFV is raising many expectations, operators are willing to have their OSS ready for that, and most of them are not, believe me. HP Service Activation Factory addresses several problems that helps a lot our customer to meet their needs, improve the revenue, decrease costs, and make more agile operations in terms of fulfillment and assurance process, and all together integrated into the new NFV technology. We see it on 5 fundamental pillars. There are one set end-to-end process. We want to control the end-to-end process services of our customers. One set of accurate data. We want to keep the data, maintaining one set and be able to discover and maintain the data accurate. So its service can be delivered on time and we can reduce errors in operations. We have one service model that allows our customers to evolve their services without impacting the current OSS and expand the capabilities to beat the customers, especially meeting more aggressive timelines. We also bring pre-integration and accessibility in every component. So each one of the components I'm going to present work together, and they are able to expose the same API to others. So we have the same capabilities of integration we have between us with other systems. But of course, we are already paying the saving time and reduces the effort to do that. We are also able to measure and supervise the service and act accordingly, responding to what happened to the KPIs indicators or to the alarms that we have detected. High-level picture where you see how the operators will easy provision service and monitor what happened to the services. We are also able to provide self-care and self-service capabilities to the service we have provided. We automate the process. We synchronize the data, failures, capacity in the common set of data that we are able to sync with the network in order to be aware of manual change, possible misconfigurations, or new deployed equipment. There are several priorities at the CTO level for the new NFV technology trending that everyone needs to meet in order to succeed. But this needs to be done in the context of the OSS, because NFV is the technology that will allow to change the way telcos operate today. But we still need to manage the old service, the new service, and the transition between them. This is what I was exactly telling before, is the image you need to remember. NFV is one component that will need to be integrated into the OSS ecosystem, even if it's a key component that is transforming the environment and even changing the players, need to be still work together with everything. I marked this in red because this is the summary of the products we use to meet the OSS Service Operations Factory. So we have UCA, Unified Correlation Analyzer Program. When you receive thousands or millions of events, and even more with NFV, because you will have more types of events together, you will need to decide and correlate which are the important ones, which one has backup, which one's not, and trigger the appropriate actions. UCA position on top of the gathering, as I say, reducing the alarms and speeding the alarm production, the number of automations you can perform on the events you detect. And also it's able to suggest or help you to suggest and trigger automatic actions to solve the issues. In a nutshell, this is the way it goes. You have basic alarms, basic filtering, then you enrich the alarm with extra information, maybe gathered from the inventory. You start correlate the events. When you have the key events that they are not duplicated, you can go to the next level of topology to have it. That event has backup on the network or on the service or on the NFV level. And if finally there is something that is really impacted, you may trigger manual or automated actions depending on the case. We have our Trueview inventory. This helps us to maintain one set of data that will enrich the events and help the fulfillment process to get accurate, efficient provision of services. It has some business drivers that will help you to position the solution, and it attacks the three main challenges today about data, that you need to be accurate, you need to be fast, and it needs to be usable and useful for your operators. It's not a matter of having data, it's a matter of having correct or accurate data that people are able, or systems even, are able to use in an efficient way. So basically, you need to help customers to think in a different way, where we can help them with HP Trueview. Very easy. What we see is their manual process and their automated process that interact with the data and with the network equipment. And we are able to bring together manual actions on inventory with automated actions on inventory, with automated actions in the network, with manual actions in the network. So we keep consistency with the manual actions and in the inventory and in the network using our discovery engine. This is a next generation inventory. We are positioning several customers that is ready for discovery and NFV ready as well, that not all inventories are today. One of the visions is that it is an NFV-ready inventory. So it's one of the drivers to get the customers to a full NFV picture. We have also our HP Service Provisioner. This is the platform that will allow you to speed the deployment, forget about manual provision of service, and speed even more the way you deliver service, the way you provision service today. We have been working with customers that got weeks timelines for provision service reduced today, even hours in specific cases, because we allow to automate and orchestrate the provision process, either with classical networks or some NFV components. The full integrated service flow in Service Provisioner, it's validated and driving using catalog templates that define service and the resources you need to assign, activate, and provision for that particular service. And we sync with the inventory to keep consistency on the data. HP Service Provisioner, it's using all these components, the catalog, service order management, and service inventory. You can see that the look and feel is familiar. We made it similar to other screens you are used to. So we also help the customers that are already using some HP tool to get familiar with this new way of provision service, and we help our install base to speed even more the provision of the services. Let's get into the demonstration. I'm going to summarize a bit how the demonstration, and Dale will run a subset of the use cases. So we have said that NFV is part of the operation system, so we are going to demonstrate OSS with some NFV components inside, so you will see the effect. Basically, we will have our OSS ecosystem with some NFV pictures. You can review the NFV training, how we use NFV detector and how it's driving the key challenge around NFV. And here you will see how OSS work together with NFV detector. This is a very classical example where you have SDH ring infrastructure. You have over that an MPLS network, and you have we want to deploy a IP VPN service, and we can even combine that with a voice over IP virtual service. So one NFV function with a classical service. In the architecture blueprint, you will see that there is the service provision activation that will reserve resource in the inventory. Eventually, we are able to discover, to see someone change or misconfigure something. And after that, we are able to monitor, control, and even correct if something happened to the service we have provisioned. And if you have NFV components in between, we can use the NFV detector to orchestrate the specific virtual components in an integrated way. This I mark in red as well because it's the mapping of the functional boxes to the specific HP products. So if you want to provision services, you will use service provisioning and service activator. You should be familiar with service activator. If you want to know more about service provisioner, because we have so limited time and there would be very few, if any, in the demo, you will need to contact Rolf Eberhard, head of the Fulfillment Global Practice worldwide. We have HP Trueview, our HP network-aware inventory. We have NFV detector. You have the other training around that. And we have our HP OSS console that allows us to simplify the operations and especially the monitoring of all these components. This is more detailed architecture if some customer asks you for more, and how the process will be hitting each one of the components. In this way, you will see when a problem came, how is the process to solve it and which boxes are implied in each step. Thank you for that. Let me jump directly into the demo. So, here we are in our HP Trueview inventory. This is the one set of data we have mentioned before on the slides. We can record the data, we can record the network and the service. Here we have the HVH ring we mentioned before. So this was not a diagram, but a real snapshot from the application, as you may see. Okay, this is the MPLS network. This is the VPN we have set up, and this here is the virtual voice over IP server that is a virtual component. If I haven't logged out, okay, if the logout didn't expire, let's see, I'm able to drill down from the diagrams to the specific components. So here I see the network element details. If I go to this other network element, I will be able to automatically jump very easily to different view. This network element has some cards, some ports. You can have the physical view and you can have the textual view of the physical information. You also have logical information about the cross-connect, because this is an SDH network. Okay. Here is the information of how to communicate to the element managers or directly to the element companies in order to discover the data. And you can have extra details if needed, or you can even define your own attributes to keep track. One thing I really like about this inventory is that you can very easily review what's happening. These diagrams are very dynamic. You can have icons, the icons you choose, as nice as this, as ugly as this one, and these are literally dynamically defined. And even someone can add a new network element to review what's happening. Let me add just one as an example. I'm going to add a new CE router to this view. So now I have more items. If I save and then show again, this view will reflect very dynamic, something even the customer can do. Operators can create their own views. They can share the views or not with others. So, and they are even able to expose customer information, filtering just the customer network data to them. And we are able to sync this information with the assurance system to display if this is alarm or not. And we have text information, Google Maps integration to displays where the things are. If we go to the OSS Unified Console, we are able to monitor what's happening to this scenario. Everything seems to be fine in the VPN, and we have a voice over IP service virtual in one of the locations. Now let's introduce some of the use cases. Let's put connectivity at risk. So you will see an alarm coming at a moment in time. Meanwhile, I will show you that any alarm that has came, you can keep track here and see what are the types of alarms divided in service, which is the distribution per domain. You can make analysis in terms of severity. And once you got this alarm, and we click here, we see that this is one particular alarm. This is the customer impacted by the alarm, and we can see over here the color change indicating something is happening in the VPN, and we can even go down into the details and review, okay, what's the root cause? What unified correlation analytics engine has came up to the conclusion is the problem. It's because there are several alarms result that the problem was a facility failure. And if we click on the facility, we will see that between these two routers in the SDH network, not in the MPLS, it's down. In this particular case, we can do nothing. It's a cable failure, so probably the action will be triggered to send someone to do something. Next cases can be connectivity service down, okay? So if there is a critical alarm, this can be at risk, as I said, because one of the links may be down on the SDH ring. Now you can see that the color has changed again because the event is different. Before there was only one failure, so the service was orange. It says at risk. Now I have two events that are having a major, massive failure. The two paths of the ring are damaged. So this connectivity is still at risk, but it's still working. And this side is completely disconnected because the main path and the protection path has been down. Thanks to the information of the topology we have here at the inventory level, we know that we have an SDH network that has a working path and a protecting path, and we are able to sync the data at the OSS console level and determine what's happening here. There is one last example that we will demonstrate also fulfillment capabilities upon a particular event. Let me try to clear out the previous alarms and launch a different type of alarm or event. And in this case, we will not only detect the event, but we will act through the event to solve it. Now we have different type of alarm, okay? You see, I did the other alarms clear. Now I have different root cause because the event is different. Now my service is okay, it's in black in this case, and the voice over IP server seems to start to be overloaded. In this case, it's a virtual voice over IP server. So we are able to sync with the inventory, detect that it's virtual, sync with NFV detector, and see, okay, it's the VM who is overloaded. It's not the whole server. So in this case, we can make action over that case. So the VM is above threshold in CPU usage, but we have lots of capacity remaining. So we can expand the capacity up to double, interact with NFV detector. So VM will become green, alarm will clear, customer stop to be affected. So if this refreshed on time, it will become green. Alarm will be eventually clear when unified control refresh and make sure that the alarm is gone, and it will automatically says no more customer impacted. And if I refresh this as well, I will see my service is rest-based, is okay again. From fulfillment perspective, you will get orders because we don't have the demo fully ready here, and you will be able with one simple click to provision a service as complex as this VPN. So it will have 3 sites connected all together, one having the voice over IP service, other has simply CPE routers. And the service provisioner is able to orchestrate reserving resources in the specific ports, making a specific connectivity through the SDH ring if needed, and also if needed, trigger any NFV detector actions that need to be done at VM level, so virtual machine level, because service provisioner can act in all the resources, and in order to get access to the virtual ones, it uses the NFV detector as a different EMS managing the virtual resources. Remember this, HP product mapping. We are able to bring services into production and monitor services to solve the problems and attend customer need using a variety of components that are HP software that you may want to position to the customers to help them speed their operations. So thanks for attending. If I need to summarize the whole training in one question your customers will ask you, the more challenging would be, why HP? My answer to that is, I see customers most interested on NFV. Okay? They are not asking about OSS, they are asking for NFV, whatever that means to them. Some of them don't even know what NFV is, but they want NFV because it's bringing in new revenues and it's drilling down the cost and it's bringing new service on the table. Don't let your customers forget that the NFV will be part of the OSS ecosystem, and if they get all the benefits from NFV, new revenues, and decrease the cost, and spend all that money on adapting the current OSS because it's not ready, everything is going to be useless. That's why HP can help them, because our OSS system is not only efficient, modern, new age generation of service provision and service assurance, but it's also NFV ready.